these unhinged people find their ways to positions of power so they can re-educate your kids. Meanwhile, they're not mentally healthy themselves. Yo, we gotta. You know what? I'm gonna start a nationwide investigation. We're gonna go to university to university and we're gonna start exposing these fake black people who are using our race as an excuse to land positions. Welcome, guys, to the Deviant Core podcast. My name is Drew. I am your host, and today we got some funny thing to talk about, man. Because these people are just coming out of the woodworks, man. I don't know what it is about 2020. I don't know what it is about 2020 that is bringing all these fake people out of the woodworks. And what's surprising, what is very, very surprising, is that these same people are the very ones who are in charge of teaching the very institutions that these kids are graduating from. So I just want you guys to just think about that for a second. Let that slowly sink in. Some of these people who are having quote unquote identity crisis right now, who don't even know who don't even know what race they belong to. These are the same kind of people who are confused about that are also confusing your children at these universities. Unfortunately, this had to happen at a University of Wisconsin, which is also my home state. So before we get into the story, guys, go ahead and head on over to our YouTube channel if you guys want to watch the video at the Deviant Core podcast. If you guys also want to listen to the podcast itself, we're also on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Overcast, we're on Stitcher, and as an added bonus, we just got on Amazon Music. So go ahead and check us out on those platforms. If you use this, show your support. And then again, we're also on Facebook too as well. So getting to the story here, man, like literally when I heard about this story, I was just like, not again, not again. Like, what was it? What was it? It hadn't been it hasn't even been a month since we figured out that what's that lady's name? Jessica Krug, right? The other university teacher that was pretending to be an Afro Latina lady. You guys remember the one with the hoop earrings and the leopard print? Well, we got another one here. By the name of CV Vitolo, something like that. But let's get into this article. Grad student admits lying about being black, resigns teaching position. A graduate student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison has apologized and resigned from their teaching job and workers' union leadership positions after years of embracing lies about their racial identity. CV Vitolo-Haddad, who uses the non-binary pronouns they and them, admitted that they are actually Southern Italian and Sicilian, not black or Latino, which are both labels they accepted when peers allegedly assumed they were a person of color. This is very interesting. So we have this lady over here, just like the Jessica Krugs of the world. I don't know how these people are able to fool their way into these positions, especially what you notice now with some of these guys coming out of the woodworks. It's usually teaching jobs. It's usually jobs in education, right? That you see some of these people who are having these quote unquote identity crisis. This is where you see them coming out of. I don't know what it is about 2020 that is bringing these people out of the woodworks, but I'm glad that they're being exposed. Matter of fact, we need a national campaign right now to start sniffing out all of these people, all of these fake all of these fake POCs. See, man, I'm telling you, this is what happens. This is what happens when you go down that rabbit hole of thinking that you can be something that you're not, right? Because think about it, this thing has been going on since way back. And when you can choose to identify as being a gender that you're not actually are, or you could choose to be identified to be a sex or whatever it is. Well, guess what? People can choose to identify whatever color they want. You guys have set that precedent now. You could be whatever it is that you want to be. You just got to believe it. In this case, this CV Vitola person definitely believed it. Definitely believe it. Let's read on. When asked if I identify as black, my answer should have always been no, Vitolo-Haddad wrote September 8 in the second two confessions on Medium. There were three separate instances I said otherwise. I have let guesses about my ancestry become answers. I wanted to, but couldn't prove, Vitolo-Haddad previously said in an apology published September 6 on Medium. I have let people make assumptions when I should have corrected them. The second missive Vitolo-Haddad added, I wanted to apologize for ever taking lies about Cuban roots at face value, and for subsequently attaching myself to people's perceptions of me as though it would provide answers to where there are none. Vitolo-Haddad has also railed against conservative views about race, declined an interview with the Wisconsin State Journal, which first reported the story on Saturday. However, in a series of text messages, Vitolo-Haddad told reporters, I repeated things I heard growing up from my family that I now know to be lies. I am so sorry. I take full responsibility for spreading these lies, and I'm deeply sorry. It continues. In their initial post, Vitolo-Haddad also expressed a desire to make amends for every ounce of heartbreak and betrayal and deception has caused others. Due to the controversy, the graduate student who studies at the School of Journalism and Mass Communication has given up their teaching position and stepped down as co-president of the school's chapter of the Teaching Assistants Association, a graduate student union. However, Vitolo-Haddad also claimed that they have never identified as non-white on paper or attempted to gain access to scholarships and awards provided specifically for people of color. Vitolo-Haddad's admission comes less than 2 weeks after African-American historian at George Washington University professor Jessica Krug, who is white and was outed as a black imposter. UW Madison representative Meredith McClone confirmed the grad student's resignation as a teaching assistant. UW Madison expects that people represent themselves authentically, accurately, in all aspects of their academic work. Oh my God, this is rich. This is rich. I got it wrong, guys. I got it wrong. Not less than 2 weeks. Not less than 2 weeks since we outed Jessica Krug, the phony for what she was. Here's another one. Oh, this one's in my backyard. Another one just came out. Turns out she's also fake. But as we saw in her apology, guys, she didn't use her blackness to try to, gain scholarships or any of that special privileges like some of the other so-called black people that we know, the Sean Kings of the world, the freaking what do you call it? Rachel Dolezals. Y'all still remember Rachel Dolezal, right? Yeah, the other one. You notice how these people, when they choose to become black, they get into positions that are better than what most black people get. You notice that? Would you technically call this like reverse affirmative action? Like, what would you call this? Seriously, what would you call it? It's funny how like these people get into these universities, find your way to positions of power, and then start educating your kids. And y'all got to start taking this stuff seriously, because if you look at what the teachers, if you look at the state of college students nowadays, if you look at what they're learning, the kind of headspace that they're coming out of, you talk about like snowflakes and all the confusion coming out of these schools. Look at their teachers. Look at the Vitolos of the world who are teaching and educating your kids. These unhinged people find their ways to positions of power so they can re-educate your kids. Meanwhile, they're not mentally healthy themselves. Yo, we gotta, you know what? I'm gonna start a nationwide investigation. We gonna go to university, and we gonna start exposing these fake black people who are using our race as an excuse to land positions. So I mean, what this tells me in the recent trends of white people pretending to be black. What it tells me is that even white people don't want to be white anymore. That's where it's at. So like literally, being black is the new rage. I don't know how most people can the two things. Either one, there's a lot of self hatred that this young woman is going through, and for that, you know what, you got to get yourself some mental help. I'm glad that you stepped down and whatnot, but two, it goes to show you, man, you're seeing more of these other races trying to identify as black, and you can clearly see that these guys are ending up in positions of privilege. So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm really starting to question this whole systemic racism thing, but I digress. But y'all, we got to start waking up. We got to start paying attention to the frauds and the foolery that's been going on. That's pretty much what I got for you guys today, man. I just saw this story, and it was absolutely the most hilarious thing, because it hasn't been less than 2 weeks 2 weeks since that happened, and she came out. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with the internet, man. I am done with the internet. Y'all take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Those of you guys who are listening this far, thank you so much. Head on over to our YouTube channel. Subscribe. We're also on Facebook too, as well as you guys want to listen and watch these videos. And then don't forget to check us out on for those of you guys who want to listen to the full-length podcast, check us out on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Overcast, and we're on Stitcher, and we newly just got into Amazon Music. So check us out on those platforms, support the podcast, and help us grow. Take it easy, guys.